ASMR. Encouragers ASMR. Encouragers ASMR. My name is Michael. And today we're continuing the short letters. Very short letters. Very short encouragement letters. This is from March of 2020. A very famous month. March of 2020. March of 2020. Very famous. Very famous. Infamous. 2020. March. So this is what the letter says. These last couple of months have been stressful for my wife and I at work. They've been stressful for my wife and I at work. Stressful for my wife and I at work. There's been a lot of things to get done, and what feels like not enough time to do it. Have you ever felt like that? A lot of things to do, but not enough time to do them. Have you ever felt like that? Have you felt like that? Has that been you? Have you been in that situation? Have you ever felt like that? Right during our busiest time, I got sick. I got sick with a cold. Busiest time. I got sick with a cold. It's been, let's say, it's very tough. So it's easy to be sad when you think about things being hard. It's easy to be sad when you're thinking about things being hard. Things being hard. It's easy to be sad. But we have an encouragement from the Bible. We have an encouragement from the Bible. In the book of Matthew. In the book of Matthew chapter 14. In the book of Matthew. In the book of Matthew chapter 14. Matthew chapter 14. We read about how Jesus' disciples were having a hard time in their boat at sea. They were having a hard time in their boat during a terrible storm. Terrible storm in their boat. Terrible storm at sea in their boat. They were in their boat during a storm. Then they saw what looked like a ghost. It was Jesus walking in the water. They thought it was a ghost. What would you think if you saw Jesus walking in the water? There aren't any lights out there. It's not all electrified. There's no lights. So whatever they're seeing is either moonlight, candlelight from the boat, starlight, or whatever's coming through the clouds. If it's a storm, there's probably not a lot of light. So they're seeing a shadowy figure in the dark, walking on the water. This is spooky. Anyway, he spent some time meditating about how spooky it was. So they thought it was a ghost and it was Jesus walking on the water. You know, when people say, oh, Jesus walked on water, you get like these pictures in your mind of like, it's a beautiful day, he's out for a stroll, he just wants to walk on the water. He just wants to walk on the water. It is a storm. He's walking probably in the dark. It's late. It's dark. There's no lights around. He's probably not carrying a torch with him. Let's be honest. He's probably not carrying a torch with him. So they saw something that looked like a ghost. It was Jesus walking on the water. Peter asked Jesus, if it's you, tell me to come out to you on the water. Jesus said, come. Peter asked, if it is you, tell me to come out to you on the water. Jesus said, come. And Peter got out of the boat and walked towards Jesus. But when Peter looked at the waves, he looked at the waves and the wind, and he took his eyes off Jesus. He took his eyes off Jesus. He began to sink. He was looking at the wind and the waves, and he began to sink. And cried out for Jesus to save him. Jesus asked why he doubted and reached out and pulled him up, and they both got in the boat. They both got in the boat. Jesus wasn't the only one to walk on water. Peter did too, briefly. We don't know how long it was, but he did walk on the water. But he took his eyes off of Jesus, started looking at the wind and the waves, and began to sink. When he focused on Jesus, it didn't matter that the storm was raging around them because Jesus was with him. But when he didn't think about Jesus being with him, when he didn't think about it, when he allowed his thoughts and his eyes to go to the storm, he began to sink. So Jesus asked why he doubted and reached him, pulled him up, and they both got in the boat. So I especially like this verse because I can relate to the disciples having a hard time in the boat. These were fishermen who are used to managing a boat on open water. And they were having a hard time in the storm, similar to how I often feel at work. In this story, Jesus didn't silence the wind and the waves. Jesus didn't silence the wind and the waves. He could have, but instead he called Peter to trust him. God does this with us. He asks us to trust him and promises never to leave us. He asks us to trust him and promises never to leave us. God doesn't promise us an easy life, but he promises to be with us through all of our trials, through all of our challenges, through all of our hard times. He promises never to leave us. I've been encouraged by this story, as I can see that no matter how dark the storm clouds look, I don't know how I will make it through the storm, but I know that God is with us. I know that God is with us, and he will see us safely to the other side. It's in him. That's on him. It's because of him. God is good. Are there storms in your life that you wish you didn't have? What are your storms? Can you pray and trust God to bring you through them, even if he doesn't cause the storms to stop, even if he doesn't stop the wind and the waves, even if it looks like a challenging storm? Can you trust him? Can you trust him? I'm so encouraged